Tonight on News 5 Live, an oil tanker goes up in fire in shipyard. $200,000 in lumber is destroyed in the inferno. 10,000 BEL customers are exposed following a data leak to the dark web. The company continues to work around the clock to restore online services and to address the vulnerabilities of its system. BWS backs out of an agreement with BEL following the massive data leak. And in tonight's episode of Culture Tuesday, the historic Igbo town and its impact on Tuesday's Creole culture. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Make your summer better. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan. Use $100 or more regular prepaid credit. Do a SIM swap or text in to the short code 786. In the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase.
No waste no time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes. All methods give you more chances to win local airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize valued at $10,000, courtesy of Smart and the Belize Tourism Board.
Promotion ends September 15th. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart's Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, The Barry, Tropigas, and Quartz. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
The Belize Tourism Board, Mars Production, and Pelican present the biggest show to hit the jewel we call Belize. It's the Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0. Join us on Saturday, July 29th and Sunday, July 30th at the Marion Jones Stadium with live performances by Morgan Heritage, the dancehall queen Spice,
Me's a girl, me no fight over man.
Busy Signal,
enough of them stairs,
Afrobeat sensation Rotimi, the biggest dancehall artist for 2023, Byron Messiah, alongside Skinny Fabulous, Judicial, Earth and Owls, Mr. Warming Up Adam O, and Lyrical. It's the Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0, July 29th and 30th. Come savor the rhythm as we pair music with the best of Belizean cuisine. Sponsors are Belize Tourism Board, Pelican, Niche, Pop, ICB, Wine Smith, eCash, Dolphin Production, DigiWallet, Channel 5, Love FM, Creme Radio, Channel 7, Vibes Radio, Fiesta FM, and OYE Radio.
KTV The Remix Season 5, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Pony Drive and 88 Shopping Center on Central American Boulevard. $3 for children and $5 for adults. Or catch it live on Channel 5, Facebook, and YouTube every Tuesday at 8 p.m. from the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Don't miss KTV The Remix Season 5. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, July 18th. I am Sabrina Daly. We begin tonight's newscast with a fire in the shipyard community in the north. Social media has been buzzing with a live video that captured this huge fire at a lumberyard in the Mennonite community. The blaze could be seen from a distance, and there were several explosions from nearby gas tanks that came within the path of the fire. The fire was caused when a pump offloading crude oil at the lumberyard burst out in flames. The driver of the trailer received burns to his body, but survived the ordeal. Neighbors managed to salvage the towhead before it too caught fire. Crown's Lumberyard is estimating a loss of $200,000. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Just before 5 p.m. on Monday, an oil tanker exploded at a lumberyard in Camp 8 in the Mennonite community of Shipyard. The vehicle belonging to M. Leva and Sons Trucking Company was offloading crude oil to a stationary tank at Crong's Lumberyard. During this transfer, oil escaped from the feeder hose to the pump, which caught fire.
Debía de descargar primero en otro lado.
He came and he had to unload first elsewhere. A truck came here and had the hose, which then had problems. Crude oil was leaking and it spilled over the gasoline, and that's when it caught on fire. He came out, and here he went out, and in a little while, a lot of people came to help us. And we struggled to start the truck from there so that the truck would not burn. And it was until the end that someone arrived to remove the lock. So they took the truck out and took it onto the streets. And the balance here burned. It's 9,000 gallons, I think. Everything burned. Over the other truck, 3,000 inside. And they poured on the liquid on it because it was burning upstairs. And a frame came with it, and they put it there, and the fire was extinguished. My tank did not burst.
The fuel tank exploded a short while after, and over 9,000 gallons of crude oil spilled onto the property. The dark trail on the ground shows how the oil quickly spread, and with it, huge flames that could be seen from a distance. Several barrels of oil along its path exploded before the fire consumed the shed with over $150,000 worth of lumber and other equipment.
My lumber shed got burnt with all of the wood that was there, and those planks that you see there, that's a value of $150,000. The crude oil then leaked round to there, and then it circled towards the shed, and that's where all of it was burnt. Yes, they arrived, but it took about an hour and a half for them to arrive. And when they arrived, there was no one who knew how to operate the machine. They could not have helped me. They wanted to, but they couldn't. They brought me water, and the water is parked there, waiting to see if it will be ready. And with that, we managed to control the fire so that I don't lose everything I had.
Amir Leva, the driver of the truck, was burnt in the process. Employees at the lumberyard were quick to render assistance, and he was rushed to the Northern Medical Plaza in Orange Walk for medical attention.
My grandchildren and my workers who were there working, they saw it. They ran to tell the driver because the driver was on the road. He wasn't here, but when the driver came, it was already too late. He closed the hose and he removed it, and the crude oil spread more, and from it, it caught on fire. The driver got burnt on his leg.
Leva received minor burns to his right foot and left arm, but his injuries were not life-threatening, so he was treated and discharged. Benjamin Crown tells the media that he received over $200,000 in damages.
I told the police that, and then that I will not get nothing, and he said, no, it was an accident, nothing more. So I said, no man, no, the insurance has to come here because I will not be satisfied. My business is insured here in Shipyard. They have come to check, and when I showed them where the fire originated, they didn't agree because it was not my fault. That was not my fire. It was because of a machine that they brought that they were not supposed to. It is prohibited to have a machine like that, to unload crude oil like that. Very dangerous.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
It's been 39 hours since the grisly murder of a single mother in Belize City, and an arrest is yet to be made. While police believe that the motive for the murder is gang-related, they are still investigating the homicide to determine who may have been the triggerman in the deadly early morning attack on Blue Street. Tonight, we revisit the tragic story and the fact that 2 children, one of whom is recovering from a gunshot wound, are left orphaned. Here's more from News 5's Isani Cantano.
A bitter rivalry among members of a well-known Belize City gang has left a mother of 2 dead, and investigators are no closer to cracking the latest homicide in the old capital. 23-year-old Jasmine Domingo was fast asleep with her children and her brother when a gunman reportedly emerged from the rear of their Blue Street property and opened fire into the bedroom.
Police responded immediately after the shooting. That is an area of concern. We have it on our patrols. However, the person came from behind yards and came to the back of the building, fired the shots, and then fled thereafter.
When the gunfire subsided, Domingo lay mortally wounded with gunshot injuries to her abdomen. Her 4-year-old daughter was also injured during the pre-dawn attack.
We found out that my niece was also injured. Her 4-year-old daughter was also injured in the process. So we tried to see if we could get police mobile maybe nearby, and same time one came, and that's how I took my niece to the hospital, and by the time we get there, so my sister was gone.
Jasmine's brother was also asleep when the gunman approached the property. He fired at least 3 shots through the Plysem wall and nearby window, not thinking of the innocent victims that slept inside the bedroom. According to Domingo's aunt, the family was aware of an internal feud that involves a sibling.
Well, yes, yeah, we do, but as I tell her, God knows and sees everything, so, really the worry. I not really the worry because I know that I'm a God-fearing person and God sees and knows everything, and He's the justice, and He will do justice, and I leave it in His hand. So I no fear. If they got to do me, well, then just do me, but I know God, and me personally have no fear for them.
As we've reported, Domingo's kids are now left without their biological parents. In November 2021, Andre Gladden was shot and killed in Dangriga. Sadly, the mother of his 2 children is also deceased. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
A policeman suffered a stab wound while he was on duty at a grocery store in Belize City on Monday night. Reports are that 28-year-old Zani Savala was doing duties at Goodwill store on Central American Boulevard just around closing time at 9 p.m. when a young man arrived and wanted to enter the shop. But the policeman closed the entrance door, refusing the youth from going in. The two reportedly got embroiled in an argument, during which time the young man produced a knife from his pocket and stabbed the policeman in the left arm. Savala was taken to the KHMH for treatment, where he remains stable. Quick police response resulted in the apprehension of the suspect, not far away from where the incident happened. The proprietor of the business told News 5 off camera that she didn't see the incident because it happened outside the shop and she was busy inside dealing with the last of her customers at that hour. She said that her surveillance cameras also did not capture the incident because she is in the process of upgrading her surveillance system. 19-year-old Felipe Cesar Sanchez, a fisherman of Guerrero Street in the Yabra area of Belize City, is on remand at the Belize Central Prison after he was charged for being a member of a gang. The Guerrero Street resident appeared unrepresented in the lower courts earlier today, where he was read a single charge related to the alleged involvement with the Southside Gang, a criminal outfit that is engaged in committing violent offenses. Sanchez pleaded not guilty, and due to the nature of the offense, he was denied bail and placed on pretrial detention until September 14, 2023. Tonight, a well-known street figure is back behind bars after he was accused of neglecting a judicial order. It is alleged that Yulid Allen, who was granted bail by the High Court for the offense of being a member of a gang and escaping from lawful custody, failed to abide by an order of the court requiring him to remain indoors between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. On June 6th, Allen was found near Mile 4 on the George Price Highway at 9:15 p.m. Earlier today, he appeared unrepresented before Magistrate Kiana Gordon, where he pleaded not guilty to the charge and attempted to explain to the court that his daughter was sick and that he was taking her to the hospital for respiratory problems. He says that police had him detained at the checkpoint since 8 o'clock that night. For the offense of neglect of judicial order, Allen was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until September 2023. Coming up, BFF calls on Ministry of Blue Economy to take action against fishing company. Find out the details of these stories when we come back.
Hello friends, I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy." It was several years ago in the town of Dangriga, Belize, that the Lord taught me the true meaning of mercy. We were with a group of college students conducting a revival meeting in Dangriga. The young people were on the streets inviting people to the services while I went to the gas station to buy gas for my truck. As I was driving through town, I suddenly saw a group of young people, and wanting to stop and invite them to the crusade, I did a very foolish thing. I could not see anyone behind me in the rearview mirror, and so I stopped my truck in the middle of the street and started backing up. I backed right into a man's car. I got out to survey the damage. I expected to meet the fury of the man, but I met the fury of the young people whom I was wanting to invite to the crusade. They began to shout to the Latino man, "What are you going to do with that white man? What are you going to do with that white man?" The Latino man would look at his car and then look at the young people. Realizing there was not a lot of damage and infuriated by the antagonism of the young people, he simply nodded for me to go on. Suddenly, I realized what real mercy was. I was wrong. I had backed into a man's car, but in mercy he forgave me when I needed it desperately. You know, that is exactly what Jesus has done for every one of us. We all deliberately sinned against him, but the moment we came to him in repentance, he says, "Thy sins be forgiven thee." Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Puerto Rico plans to build an entire artificial peninsula on Belize's coast. And to do that, they need the help of Boscalis. But who exactly is Boscalis? Only an irresponsible company that's just as dirty as the sludge they dredge up. Look at what they're doing in Indonesia. They're decimating fishing grounds and causing erosion on an unprecedented level. People are starving and houses and cemeteries are falling into the sea. All this, and they refuse to release information on their impact on the fisheries. Do we want that here? In 2006, Boscalis bribed a Mauritian minister in order to secure a contract. They also allegedly bribed the minister in Indonesia. Is Boscalis contributing to the pension plan for the boys in Belize? Reject the pension plan for the boys. Stand up for Belize.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to join us at the second annual Belize Investment Summit from August 30th to September 1st, 2023 at the Grand Caribe Resort on Ambergers Key. Belize, the land of endless potential, with a vibrant people and economy and a wealth of natural resources, is the region's premier investment hub, offering a range of opportunities across sectors including the blue, green, and orange economies. The Belize Investment Summit 2023 is your chance to explore these opportunities and connect with potential partners, investors, financiers, and stakeholders from across the globe. This 3-day summit will offer networking opportunities, site visits, one-on-one meetings, roundtable discussions, business pitches, an expo, and keynote presentations from government officials and industry leaders. Gain insight into Belize's investment climate and the incentives that make our country the destination for investment. Register now for the Belize Investment Summit 2023 and discover a world of opportunities. Be a believer. Invest in Belize. Thrive in Belize.
Do you know how to protect yourself against mosquito bites? First, eliminate mosquito breeding sites in and around the home. If you're in a place where there are many mosquitoes, dress in long sleeves clothes and pants. Use repellent on skin and clothing. Preventative measures are particularly important for pregnant women, newborns, and people with chronic diseases. If you sleep in an area where there are a lot of mosquitoes, use a mosquito net. Avoid visiting where there is standing water or accumulated garbage, as they can be breeding sites for mosquitoes. Share this information with your family and neighbors. Without breeding sites, there are no mosquitoes, and without mosquitoes, there's no dengue.
Bye. Why long time to try call you?
Meet Alex.
Where they go on, man?
Alex signed up for a Digi1 premium bundle. He's loving it. With his free mobile plan, Alex can talk and surf on the go as much as he wants. Topping up and buying data is a thing of the past. Alex now has DigiTV. He enjoys all his games and his favorite shows, no matter if he's on the go or at home. And Alex also enjoys the fastest, most reliable home internet speeds with his DigiNet service. He is living his best life. Alex bundled. Alex is saving $70 monthly compared to purchasing these services from the other providers. Be like Alex. Sign up for your Digi1 bundle package today. Digi1, one bundle, no hassle, exceptional value.
An independent study based on the coordinates included in the environmental impact assessment and the reference map for mangroves in this area estimates that 388.7 hectares of mangroves will have to be cleared along the coastline, the route of the 6-mile coastal road into the project, and all across the project's terrestrial zone of influence, seen here in red. This includes tall, medium, and dwarf mangrove ecosystems. Of the 388.7 hectares of pristine mangrove to be destroyed, some 55 hectares comprise endangered and critically important tall mangroves. Our expert notes that the government promised the international community that it would restore 2,000 hectares of mangroves by 2025. Portico takes away 20% of that promise. The question now is, how did NEAC approve this project, knowing it goes against Belize's national commitments to halt mangrove deforestation?
The management of the Belize Electricity Limited held a press conference today to provide the media with a high-level overview on the infiltration of its information technology network by cyber criminals. John Mencius, the Chief Executive Officer at BEL, explained that the company carries out its operations on 2 separate systems. The company's IT system holds administrative data, while its operation technology system manages the monitoring and automation of its power grids. Between the end of March and the middle of May, Ragnar Locker, a ransomware company out of Russia, infiltrated the company's IT system and extracted customer and employee data. At the end of June, the hackers demanded a ransom from BEL in exchange for the data. BEL's management ignored the ransom email based on the advice of a cybersecurity company they hired to improve the company's cybersecurity. But last week, an email was sent to the CEO in the Ministry of Public Utilities informing him that key data from BEL was being circulated on the dark web. Attached to that email was evidence of the data. BEL then confirmed that during the attacks, Ragnar Locker extracted approximately 335 gigs of data.
On July 13, 2023, the CEO in the Ministry of Public Utilities alerted actually both the CFO, Sean, and me. I think we were the only two. So he alerted us that he was informed by his regional partners of a potential data breach of BEL's information system. And he sent copies of files that were leaked, right, as proof. Our incident response team immediately confirmed that indeed this was so. Confidential employee and customer information was being shared on the dark web, not on the usual websites that we are able to access via the browsers we use, right? And it was indeed website of this ransomware operator, actor called Ragnar Locker. And again, this under suspicions. The leaked files are obviously evidence that the information was gotten from our file servers and on our network, and actually from even individual computers assigned to employees. This is part of the IT system. And to share with you some of the information that was leaked, because we obviously got to that information to determine what was leaked. So there was customer information on customer application forms. Actually, there was about 10,800 individual customer application forms, which contain identification information, SSB card information, and then some transaction details, but no credit card number nor bank account number or anything like that.
According to CEO Mencias, the company has taken steps to employ further security measures. He emphasized the fact that data such as credit card information was not leaked because BEL does not store such information on its system. CEO Mencias also extended an apology to the customers, employees, and stakeholders affected by the incident.
We, BL, and I, as a CEO, would like to personally and sincerely apologize to all our customers and our employees and all other stakeholders affected by this data breach and any adverse outcomes that may arise as a result of it. We will be reaching out. In fact, we have already reached out to our employees. Well, we're reaching out, and we will reach out to every individual employee and customer and seller whose data was exfiltrated and uploaded onto this dark web, and personally apologize for what has happened. Let them know what data was put out there on the dark web. They're a group that uses what they call a double extortion technique. So they come in and they snoop around and leak data out, and maybe leak about 5% of the data, and then tell you, listen to me, there's more that we can leak. Give me something or whatever, otherwise I will go another step and then leak more data. In this case, it seemed they leaked all. Again, we take nothing for granted, right? These are cyber criminals. We're not going to believe a word they say, and we're not going to trust them.
The Belize Electricity Limited is now working to restore its online services. Following the cyber attack, key pieces of hardware for its online server were damaged. As a result, customers are no longer able to pay their bills online. Additionally, the Belize Water Services Limited has abruptly terminated its joint utility agreement with BEL. As a result, BEL customers will no longer be able to pay their bills at a nearby BWS office.
We had a couple of our hard disks on our server that were damaged, and these affected provision of services to customers, especially, and even internally over the week. Nothing to do with cyber attacks. So that's unfortunate that that happened, but we are sorting through that, and we should be past that over the next few days. And so you will see that tomorrow, because we are unable to provide services online at the moment, and unfortunately too, BWS suddenly terminated the joint partnership we had with them. They had indicated from before, I think ago, Don would probably know when, that they would want the partnership to come to an end in August, but we were suddenly informed yesterday that it had come to an end, and they have been one of our major cash collection agents. So we are taking action to get other collection agents, but we are, and we actually have at our corporate headquarters now, we are using both our cashiering service inside and outside under the tent. I think about 5 cashiers, but we are doing something that we have never done before in many years. We are opening our offices for collections. I make the point, this is a temporary measure until we are able to get past this. We're convinced that online is more efficient, is where the world is going, and we will continue to proceed and progress in that direction.
The Belize Federation of Fishers has gone public once again over its concerns in respect to a report ago that a fishing company has been caught with a sizable catch of undersized conch. The BFF has expressed further concerns that, from its perspective, the authorities have done nothing so far to penalize the company. In its latest release, the BFF calls on the Minister and the Ministry of the Blue Economy to publicly address the issue. The allegation is that Rainforest Seafood Limited was caught more than 2 weeks ago in possession of over 22,800 undersized conch. The BFF writes, quote, "This has been an issue that has been widely reported and discussed and debated in both the press and on social media. The allegations and perhaps legitimate charges against Rainforest are that over 2 weeks ago on June 29, 2023, fisheries authorities documented a total of 22,827 specimens or pieces of undersized conch in the possession of said business concerned. This amounted to over 3,000 pounds of products, which would be in recent memory the largest illegal haul of seafood products," unquote. The press release goes on to remind that over the past year, a number of fishers have been charged and convicted of similar offenses, and whose penalties are steep. The Federation ends off its release reminding that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. In its initial press release, the BFF had suggested that the fisheries industry was in crisis, a comment to which the Ministry of Blue Economy has expressed concern. In that release, the BFF stated that a month prior to that, it had partnered with the Summit Foundation of the United States to conduct a series of workshops across Belize's coast. This was done to report on scientific findings of the fisheries industry, and the BFF said that the fisherfolk found that conch stocks were heavily fished and showed significant signs of depletion. Coupled with that, it reported that the vast majority of the conchs harvested were undersized and did not have a chance to reproduce before they were extracted. It also found that this practice has been going on for a while and that it posed a major red flag for the industry. The release also went on to list a variety of undersized species of fish that were also being extracted from the sea. And today, the Ministry of Blue Economy and the Fisheries Department say they have grave concerns over that release, calling it irresponsible and baseless. The ministry's release says that it is aware of the work that the Summit Foundation has been doing and that it has formally written to its director expressing major concerns on the draft report. The ministry says that the BFF has not been able to prove to the government that they represent the majority of Belizean fishers, to claim by their slogan that they are a voice for Belizean commercial fishers. The ministry informed News 5 today that they were in meetings on this matter, as well as on the Rainforest Seafood Limited issue, and that it will soon be meeting with the press on both matters. After the break, Ibo Town, one of the birthplaces of the Belizean Creole. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Do you love to write? And are you currently enrolled in primary school? Well, this is your opportunity to win awesome prizes for yourself and your school. Students from Standards 4, 5, and 6 are invited to participate in BEL's 2023 Primary School Essay Competition. Here is how you can participate. In your own words, explain what our 2023 Safety and Health Week theme means to you. Personal accountability and shared responsibility, cultivating safe values and attitudes. 9 prizes will be awarded for first, second, and third place in each standard. First place winners will receive a laptop, $1,000 plus $2,000 for their school. Second place winners will receive a laptop plus $750. And third place winners will receive a laptop plus $500. Essays should be a maximum of 500 words and submitted in PDF format with your name, school, class, and contact number Submit your essay to safety@bel.com.bz no later than Monday, July 31st, 2023. Let your ideas take flight and win with BEL's annual primary school essay competition.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Key Caulker, San Pedro, and Belize City are just a click away with Caribbean Sprinter. Avoid delays by getting your tickets and boarding passes online at sprinter.bz and welcome aboard.
Portugal plans to build an entire artificial peninsula on Belize's coast. And to do that, they need the help of Boscalis. But who exactly is Boscalis? Only an irresponsible company that's just as dirty as the sludge they dredge up. Look at what they're doing in Indonesia. They're decimating fishing grounds and causing erosion on an unprecedented level. People are starving and houses and cemeteries are falling into the sea. All this, and they refuse to release information on their impact on the fisheries. Do we want that here? In 2006, Boscalis bribed a Mauritian minister in order to secure a contract. They also allegedly bribed the minister in Indonesia. Is Boscalis contributing to the pension plan for the boys in Belize? Reject the pension plan for the boys. Stand up for Belize.
Tour guides, your renewal season is coming up. Please be advised that all tour guide license expires on July 31st, 2023. BTB will start accepting applications for renewal starting May 1st, 2023. Tour guides, we're asking you to apply early in order to have a new and valid license before the current one expires. To submit via email, you'll need a clear scan of each document in PDF format and properly named and labeled. Send your application with all supporting documents to tourguide@belizetourismboard.org and include your full name and your tour guide license number in the subject line of the email. Remember to fill out your applications correctly, as BTB will no longer be accepting incomplete applications. Contact our licensing officers at 227-2420 and press 1 if you have any questions or concerns.
Investment Services Explained. In September 1999, SSB's Mortgage and Investment Unit was created. The unit later became the Investment Department in 2005 and officially Investment Services in October 2007. So, what is the Investment Services role? How does Investment Services help to support Social Security and you? And why is Investment Services important to Belize? Investment Services' function is to make prudent investments in the form of commercial loans, shares, and real estate development. The interest income generated from these investments ensures the fund is sustainable to pay current and future Social Security benefits to its insured persons. The investment income is used to support the working population and pay pensions such as retirement and invalidity. Additionally, investment loans support economic development through commercial loans to startup and existing businesses, while aiding in increased production of goods and services. We can expect Investment services to continuously impact the lives of every insured person through Social Security pensions. Investment services will continue to support the Belizean economy through secure investments in various industries. And that is why investment services exists. Social Security Board, an investment for you, your family, your future.
It was the late Lena Vernon who sung the famous lyrics, "Awa no who said Creole no got no culture." In tonight's Culture Tuesday, we take a closer look at the Creole culture through the lens of Igbo Town, a slave community that was established centuries ago in what is known as downtown Belize City. It existed well into the 19th century. Researchers are still studying the history of Igbo Town. But one thing has become clear over the years. Belize's Creole heritage is closely tied to the community. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
In the 18th and 19th centuries, a small community known as Igbo Town existed in the heart of what is now Belize City. The town was established as a residential area for enslaved Africans from the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. At the onset, at least 200 logging camp laborers lived in what is referred to by historians as Negro homes. A map from 1829 suggests that Igbo Town was located within the confines of Albert Street, Berkeley Street, East Canal, and South Street. Ronaldo Kukum is the director at the Institute for Social and Cultural Research.
We are going back to 1829. What was Igbo Town? Igbo Town was an area where the documents indicate enslaved persons had some of their houses. And I said some of their houses because remember the seasonal work of mahogany cutting meant that for majority of the time they were out in the camps. But when they did come home, so we're thinking primarily December, and we know Belizeans make a big fuss about December, making sure you have your dandan, making sure you get the new linoleum for putting in your house. All of that celebration activities in some way or another also took place in these historic times. Igbo Town, however, was destroyed by fire, like many other places in Belize City, in 1819. But the name itself still carried on all the way up to the 1850s, where we're seeing the people referring to the Igbo Town area.
The landscape on which Igbo Town was built was practically swampland. The slaves that resided in the area received the basic necessities for survival. According to Kokom, the slaves of Igbo Town were not permitted to use the amenities along the coast that the slave masters and British settlers utilized, like the cathedral and the cemetery. From this population, however, came what we know today as the Creole people, descendants of British settlers and African slaves who commingled. The Creole culture is strongly influenced by its African heritage. Musa Abdul Shahid is the founder of Drums Not Guns, an organization established to promote the Creole culture through drumming. He has heard many stories of old about Igbo Town.
Igbo Town, 1700s, late 1600s, is a slave town. Right? And our ancestors was the dwellers of this town. But the front page, like I could call it the front page would be in the waterfront. Like all the residential area on the waterfront, the seafront, is where the slave owners and the slave masters would reside, and behind that, what would I call like modern day, like South Side, Blue Street, that George Street area, all of the Jump Street. That's where we may stay, yeah, bruh. I believe, in my honest opinion, people will suffer a lot that because they don't know who they are. So right now, the Igbo Town dwellers, modern day Igbo Town dwellers, are suffering as much as they suffered then, because they don't know who they are.
A lot has changed since the 1800s. Slavery has been abolished for almost 2 centuries, but majority of the residents remain impoverished. To add to the scourge of poverty, gang warfare and gun violence have taken over the neighborhood. Notwithstanding the socioeconomic challenges, Charlene Williams, the owner of Belizean Sweets and Treats, is also working to keep the Creole culture alive through her small business.
We represent the Creole culture. Our purpose is to preserve it and to promote it through food, drink, and dress. We could start out with seaweed. I've had it from I was young. We actually have 4 flavors, the vanilla, peanuts, raisin, and cashew. These are always available. Our stews, we have 8 stews. Pumpkin, papaya, stew crabble, cashew, golden plum, mango, and the infamous super. So we almost always have these in stock. When we think about Creole, there are 3 things that everybody asks for. Is the stretch me guts. Actually, it's 4. Kasham, kotobrut, and the goat shit.
The what?
Goat shit. I am sorry, there is no other name. I grew up on that name, and I've been doing a lot of research trying to change the name, but you can't call it anything else. It is pretty much what it is. And one of the reasons, because it actually looks like it, but it's a very tasty treat. And little do people know that this is actually fried flour balls.
On July 31st, the government of Belize, in collaboration with the National Creole Council, will be hosting an Igbo Tongue Festival at the Yarborough Green, where handcraft, music, and food will be on display. This is an opportunity to further share the history of Igbo Town with the masses.
In 1888, when a small group of individuals in the town held a parade, and at the start of the parade, they had 2 men with an axe and with a paddle, symbolizing what we see now in our coat of arms. And they made a procession throughout the town. And they made a stop at the government house, giving thanks, of course, that they are now, their ancestors were freed, but also making a demand. And the demand was, help us to build a people's hall, a learning space for African descendants, to learn about their history. And that's important, and I think that is what the Igbo Tongue Festival, that is what Emancipation Day as an official public and bank holiday is about.
I'll use 2 tribes as an example in this country where know who they are and make much use out of it. Our Garifuna people, I have to start with them. I love them too much. They basically honored their ancestry and now they win. The Maya, they honor ancestry and so they win. We could go again. Mestizo, they honor ancestry and it's obviously taught in the schools and that's why they win. The only tribe of people in this country, or only 2 tribes of people in this country, mainly, that are losing based on not knowing who they are. They think they're winning with their least status, their least money, their least car, and then you're losing. You don't know who you are. You're picking the watch Cocomelan. That don't know who they are. The Creole people.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
When we return, Minister Julius to litter bugs. Have some civic pride.
fourth farm student at Escuela Secundaria Técnica México. And firstly, I would like to thank BEL for this opportunity, for we not only obtain prizes that facilitate our student life, but also knowledge in things that are essential into our everyday lives, such as energy,
we are thrilled with the prizes that our students have received, and so we are certain that they are very happy. When we communicated with their parents, they were also very excited to get to know that their children were being recognized.
Through this energy challenge, I learned many things that can be applied to my daily life, such as tips on conservation of energy, which I can apply at home.
First and foremost, we want to thank BEL for coming up with these challenges and also taking into consideration the schools and our students. In our case, it helps us to and helps our students to challenge themselves in the knowledge and content that they have.
I would like to give a big thanks to BEL for giving this opportunity. It is an amazing opportunity for us students, as the prizes will help us in our studies and that they continue to challenge the students.
An independent study based on the coordinates included in the environmental impact assessment and the reference map for mangroves in this area estimates that 388.7 hectares of mangroves will have to be cleared along the coastline, the route of the 6-mile coastal road into the project, and all across the project's terrestrial zone of influence, seen here in red. This includes tall, medium, and dwarf mangrove ecosystems. Of the 388.7 hectares of pristine mangrove to be destroyed, some 55 hectares comprise endangered and critically important tall mangroves. Our expert notes that the government promised the international community that it would restore 2,000 hectares of mangroves by 2025. Portico takes away 20% of that promise. The question now is, how did NEAC approve this project, knowing it goes against Belize's national commitments to halt mangrove deforestation?
Honda Navi, a partner you can rely on. Benquip, equipment, parts, service.
KTV The Remix Season 5, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Pony Drive and 88 Shopping Center on Central American Boulevard. $3 for children and $5 for adults. Or catch it live on Channel 5, Facebook, and YouTube every Tuesday at 8 p.m. from the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Don't miss KTV The Remix Season 5. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Make your summer better. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan. Use $100 or more regular prepaid credit. Do a SIM swap or text in to the short code 786. In the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase.
No waste no time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes. All methods give you more chances to win local airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize valued at $10,000. courtesy of SMART and the Belize Tourism Board.
Promotion ends September 15th. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart's Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
In July 2015, the Board of Directors of La Immaculada Credit Union in Orange Walk terminated the services of General Manager Yolanda Gomez after 25 years with the lending institution. The decision to fire Gomez followed an investigation that was conducted by the Central Bank of Belize, as well as an external financial auditor, where it was determined that there was enough incriminating evidence to warrant her dismissal. In February of 2017, Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney represented Gomez in a lawsuit brought against the credit union and the Registrar of Credit Unions, who is also the governor of the central bank. The matter languished in the Supreme Court for over 4 years before a decision was handed down in favor of La Immaculada Credit Union. In that judgment, Justice Michelle Arana ruled that LICU did not wrongfully dismiss Gomez, nor is the credit union liable for any payment to her. Nonetheless, the Supreme Court decision was subsequently appealed, and the appellate bench has upheld the ruling of Justice Arana. Additionally, Gomez has been ordered to pay La Immaculada Credit Union $436,906 in damages. Legal costs for the appeal were also awarded. Civic pride. It is a virtue that many of us lack, and it shows in the way we manage the garbage that we produce individually. That golden rule to put litter in its proper place seems to have escaped quite a few of us while growing up. So we wantonly toss our refuse on the street when we're finished eating, or leave it where we were sitting for someone else to discard. And the highways and roadways seem to have become a secondary dumping site for garbage, according to Minister of Infrastructure Development and Housing, Julius Espat. He recently let reporters in on what their personnel endure every day, that they have to go out and repair streets and highways. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
The unsightly, smelly bags of garbage that we dump on the street side on garbage day are barely tolerable, but the practice is necessary in order for us to keep our living environs clean. The practice of tossing loose garbage along the nation's highways, however, speaks to an entirely different culture. It exposes those of us who engage in tossing our disposable food containers, water bottles, chips and water bags, and other wrappings to the ground as litter bugs. And the lack of civic pride among us seems to have lost its root, as those who maintain our roads have found.
Garbage is becoming a major portion of our effort, because we sadly as Belizeans, we're not appreciating our country the way we should. We instead of we put on mascara with the tree-town bag, we throw away garbage all over the place. I mean, I follow vehicles on the George Price Highway where I see they eat up, well, I don't see what they do, but they put it in a little plastic bag, blow out the window and throw the whole thing. We know this because we We are cleaning the shoulders that have never been done the way we are doing it on a periodic basis. And anytime if we bush hog pass through the shoulders, you see all the rubbish and the garbage. And we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to try to maintain a level of decency.
The Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing recently produced a video encouraging people to exercise better civic pride when they're traveling.
While we are cleaning it to an acceptable standard so that it's safe if you have an accident or something, we have encountered that when we clean it, the garbage is at a level that's unacceptable. And we have people following vehicles that are basically taking everything in the car, putting it in a plastic bag and throwing it out. We should be ashamed as Belizeans that we are not protecting what is ours.
Minister Julius Espat reminds us how hazardous it would be if we continue to dump garbage improperly.
It contaminates the waterways. It affects the tourism. It affects how we believe and think of ourselves. Even we go across the border, we button up and we play prim and proper and we find the garbage and we put it in. But as we cross back into Belize, we throw everything on the sides. And I'm not blaming anybody specifically.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Week 3 of KTV The Remix Season 5 begins in a short while, and there is still time for you to get dressed and head on over to the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts for that in-person experience. The singers are now down to 8 who will take on their karaoke renditions of reggae or Caribbean songs. Host of the social media buzz, Dwayne Moody, spoke earlier today with producer Vianney Reyes about what people can expect.
Didn't want heaven without us, so Jesus, you brought heaven down.
Last week it was gospel, but tonight reggae and Caribbean songs take center stage at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Only 8 singers will continue in the competition in the hopes of winning Season 5 of KTV The Remix.
I have seen messages coming back and forth from the contestants in our group chat. They are excited to come out and showcase a different side of them. And it's a bit difficult for some of them actually. For example, let's just say Yuhan. Haziel is also a Latin singer. So they're stepping out of their comfort zone tonight. The commitment that I have seen with these contestants, coaching, practicing, doing their duets and getting everything done is breathtaking, and honestly a weight lifted off my shoulders to see that they're ready for tonight.
2 more going home, right?
2 more going home. Sad. It's sad to see them go home.
It's a nerve-wracking experience to say the least, but producer Vianney Reyes says that the pool of talent this year is arguably the best, including the trio of qualified judges for this year's competition.
It's a younger crowd versus other years, so it's doing from day one. It was difficult to select 12 out of 40 contestants. And we have seen the talent, we have seen the dedication and the hard work and commitment that this crew have right now. And I can't wait to see what tonight brings. These judges are there for a reason. Jenny is the senior of all. She's well known, she's no stranger to KTV. We've had her with us from since day one. And I think we all know exactly her background and where she comes from with singing. Alex as well, he's qualified. He's super qualified. And also new to the judge would be Andazi, and she's also pretty much qualified for the position. Each one of them have their own different perspective on singing, what they look out for on stage, what they look out for even behind the scenes.
And while the judges have their say every Tuesday night, it is ultimately up to the public to send in their votes for their favorite participant using their smart and digital phones. Of course, the singers got to have a strategy.
I have seen TikTok videos being created from some of these contestants. I have seen WhatsApp chats going here and there. I have seen Instagram reels being created. I have also seen, Dwayne, some of the contestants actually going to restaurants singing, trying to get that money in to vote for themselves, and we see it at the end of the night. When those votes come back, we could see exactly where the effort is. And I have to applaud them.
Beauty that makes this heart adore.
You can cheer on your favorite contestant at the Bliss by getting those tickets at 88 Shopping Store and at News 5 Studios on Coney Drive. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly, and remember to tune in to KTV The Remix Season 5 at 8 p.m. on our Facebook and YouTube, or live at the Bliss Center. Tickets are still available at the ticket booth. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.